we really want this video to get out there because they're hiding it. They don't want people to know this. So if you're watching on YouTube, click the thumbs up button because it's going to generate the algorithms to get this video out there so people are seeing it.
Live from America's heartland, this is the Daily Truth Report with your host, Noah Christopher.
Welcome back to the Daily Truth Report. I'm your host, Noah, and we have a returning favorite back on the show today. Our guest is Bo Polny. Bo, welcome back to the show.
Noah, pleasure. Thank you again. Love speaking with you, and I'm excited about today. Very exciting times, and thank you for having me back.
Oh, me too. I am very excited. I always am when you come on the show, but today just feels a little extra special. We have so much in here. We're going to talk Netanyahu's back in office and the time cycles that affect that. We're going to talk about the FTX crash and Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, and how that ties in and how you predicted that to the day, actually. And those are just the two warm-ups. Then we're going to talk about, this is special because we're going to talk about September 24th, October 24th, November 24th, and December 24th. And I saw some people saying, oh, Bo missed it. Nothing happened on September 24th or October 24th. Well, you're about to just have your mind blown. And we've covered it. If you read our site, you've probably seen some of it, but Bo's going to announce some additional details here that just some extra things, just those extra little things that it's like, wow, this could not be a coincidence. So I'm so excited to get into all that. And we will talk crypto at the end of this interview because Bo also nailed a couple really big things there. So we're definitely going to talk Bitcoin and crypto. So don't go anywhere. Don't miss that. Bo is predicting a very big move coming soon. We'll talk about that. I like XRP. I know it's not a favorite. I know it's not even one of Bo's favorites, but I'm just going to say XRP is at 39 cents. So for whatever that's worth, historically speaking, and maybe we'll get Bo's opinion on XRP later today too. Enough talking from me. Everybody wants to hear from you. So I'm going to get back up here to slide one, and I'd love to have you take us through it. This is going to be fun.
Ask yourself, are you at the end of your rope? Like, have you had enough?
Yes.
Have you had enough? Because if you've had enough, that by definition is at the end of your rope. And we're there, and it just happens to be the 50-year mark. And we're going to talk about the 50-year mark, but we've talked about it in all of our presentations. But the essence of our presentation today is truly how the 50-year mark will change our world forever, and we are here. So when you're at the end of your rope, that is where God begins. What did Putin do? Prince Gaddafi, right now, Putin demands payment for gas and oil in rubles. That's an act of war. It's a big problem now because this is a military superpower. I'm going to repeat, this is a military superpower. The next slide we can touch base on is, how this is all coming to be and to fruition. So,
all right, this is where it gets really good. So,
yeah,
you're going to love this.
We'll come back to the money again, but this is where it's going to get good here. There is a Supreme Court case that is filed. And if you've been watching our interviews with Noah and maybe with Pastor Dave, His Glory, with David Nino Rodriguez, I've done numerous interviews all over the place, and we've been talking about some big dates that are going to hit, specifically September 24th, October 24th, November 24th, and these dates go by. Yes, things happened on them, but they weren't like wow events. Only to find out, there's that saying, hindsight is 20/20. And what we come to find out was probably the greatest case ever filed in the Supreme Court nailed all three of those dates. You can't make this stuff up. Back to what I said earlier. This case now sits in the Supreme Court. Now, this is the cool part. We've been back to the dates. The writ was the writ.
And this case is real, by the way. This is not prophecy. This is not someone saying this is going to happen. This is not wishful thinking. Here's where people get tied up, Bo. The mainstream media is not covering this. So right. People look at this and they say, oh, that's not happening. I didn't read that I didn't see that on ABC, CBS, NBC, CNN. Well, of course you didn't.
The writ was received on Friday, September 23rd. Well, we said the 24th.
But Bo, that's not the
24th is Saturday.
Perfect.
So on the 23rd, they receive it because the 24th is Saturday, so they can't receive it. Then it gets crazier. The docket, this case was actually stamped. You can see it there. It says received, docketed October 24th. People are like, nothing happened. This is where hindsight is 2020. One of probably the greatest case ever filed in the Supreme Court was docketed on the date that we talked about in all of our interviews, and it landed precisely on October 24th. Crazy, but it did. And so the next page of stuff, we get into the FTX thing. What matters to me particularly is the FTX collapse date. And Noah can attest to this, but the FTX collapse occurred on what? November 8th. Well, if you go to the next page, this is where it gets interesting, because those who have my cycle work from October and November, this was the November 1 post, right? What did it state? It state that Bitcoin is going to collapse, break through 19,000, and it's going to collapse on when? November 8th.
You nailed it to the day. That was incredible.
To the day. Now, I don't care to have the glory for this. What I'm showing you is that God showed me time patterns and how to understand cycles of time. And again, the point is hindsight's 2020, right? So we didn't know. So we knew the cycle was foretelling a crash, but we didn't know the event. Only to find out hindsight a day or two, whatever it was later, that the event was FTX. You see what I'm saying? So cycles precede events. So the reason I want to make this an issue is because the cycle that predicted the crash of November 8th now predicts and is illustrating a very powerful move is expected on.
You do not want to miss this incredible interview. Click the link below and enjoy the interview.